Want to start out with today, read the regulations. Okay, if you don't have the regulations, you can look them up online. Read through them. A lot of it is gobbledygook. A lot of it, you don't need to read the stuff for the judges, although you might want to because good information there. Or how to build, thanks, Angela. You don't necessarily need to know how to build a jump, et cetera, but find the things that are pertinent to you, especially the sign descriptions and the definitions. Okay, so that will go a long way toward helping you understand what needs to be done when you're in the ring. So also I use the regulations when I get to any, okay, for YouTube, I will send it out in the email. So I'll send my channel out in the email, and also excuse me, somebody asked about my email. It's just the MH Ferguson address. That's the only one I have. So yeah, so everybody can just click on from there. But I use it. I always have a copy of the regulations with me at dog shows. I pull them out quite regularly. I don't ask the judges any questions usually, unless it's something very specific to that judge. I just go and I look in my book, and that way I know that I'm doing it right. So have a copy of those regulations, or have them downloaded onto your phone or something and use them. Look through them regularly. So, and every time somebody asks a question on a list, don't wait for somebody to answer. Just go to the regulations and look it up yourself so you have the regulations. And if you answer, copy and paste the regulations so that you don't spread bad information. So I'm surprised, actually, when I apprenticed, there were a couple of judges who did not know the regulations, and we'll talk about one of those cases in here. So, but they're super, super important. All right, heeling. We're going to start with heeling today. And heeling is the foundation of rally. Nowhere in the rally regulations does it ever say loose leash walking. Okay, it's heeling. Rally is a game of heeling. The better you heel, the more fun you're going to have in the ring, the more fun your dogs. Oh, no, we're just getting started, Samantha. The dog is going to have more fun. It's going to be easier. Your scores are going to be better. Your times are going to be better. It just makes a huge difference in rally. And you'll see on the list a lot, people will say, oh, well, I don't need to heel because it's just rally. Well, yeah, you need to heel because it's rally. And it's just going to make it a much better game for you. So it's like a basketball player going, I don't really need to dribble the ball. But if you can dribble the ball, you can have a whole lot more fun playing basketball. Here is the definition of heel in the rally regulations, just so you know, it's a little bit different from the obedience ones. Heel position, the dog is at the handler's left side, facing the same direction the handler is facing. The dog's body is within the area of the handler's left hip, and the dog should be close to, but not crowding its handler, so that the handler has freedom of motion at all times. Okay, notice it doesn't mention head position. It doesn't mention gait. It doesn't mention how the front feet should be moving. It doesn't mention that the dog should be pushing from the back. It's just the dog needs to be on your left side, facing the same direction as you, with its body somewhere around your left hip. So when somebody says you should teach your small dog to be near your left leg, especially in obedience. Rally, you could probably get away with it, but if your left leg, if your hip is here and your leg is going like boop, 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 your dog's constantly moving like from your hip to front and back. Also, when a judge is judging rally and obedience, they're looking for consistency in the heel, all right? So if your dog tends to forge a little bit, or if it tends to stay back just a little bit, that's not going to be a problem. If your dog is going to the front and to the back and to the front and to the back, and it wanders out to the side and comes back in, that's when the judge is going to start taking off points. So it's really important to teach your dog exactly what you want to do. And one of the problems with the concept of loose leash walking is you're not really teaching your dog what you want your dog to do. Okay? You're just not letting your dog pull. So you'll also see a lot on the list, people will say, I don't want my dog to look at me. My dog
Perhaps.
doesn't. Hey, Lisa, can you mute, please? Are you there? Anyway, I don't want my dog to look at me because they're thinking of that superstar healing, that one where the neck is craned around and the front feet are coming up like this and the back is dropped because they're pushing from the back. You don't need that. Doesn't get you any extra points. And I think, I don't think it's necessarily the most comfortable position for a dog to work in, but you do need to let your dog know where you want your dog's attention. Okay, so attention is vitally important in the heel. If they're not watching you, they're not following. Actually, Lisa, no, but it happens all the time. It's one of my pet peeves, especially with the superstar heels. She asked if the dog can touch the handler. Nope. Freedom of movement. If your dog is like up against you and bumping against you, you don't have freedom of movement. So, okay, so it's important because if your dog's not paying attention to you, they're not ready to take a command. So you heel up to a sign that says moving down or stopping down or whatever they call it these days. Your dog's not paying attention to you and they're gonna miss that down signal and you're gonna be doing down, down, hey, flitzer, down. And then suddenly you've lost time. You may have lost a point or two for lack of teamwork. Okay, so your dog is looking at you and paying attention to you. They're ready to take a command from you. It also means the dog isn't checking on what's going on around them, right? So, hey, maybe that's better over there. And, your dog starts to wander off. You have to call them back. You've just lost a point, we're out of position or tight leash or something. So you definitely want your dog to keep that attention on you so they're not getting into trouble elsewhere. Let's see. So the dog, when we give them a place to look, they generally have to stay in a certain place to look there. All right. So it gives you a good heel position as you start working through the heel. Having a place for your dog to look gives them a good heel position. So healing is a huge set of behaviors. That's another thing I love on the list. Hold on. Somebody will post, so how do you get your dog to heel so well? And I'm like, well, you take, a year and a half of classes, you go to seminars, you practice every day, you watch videos, like that's how you get a really good heel. Fortunately, we don't need a really good heel in Rally Novice. We need a decent heel and so, but yeah, it's a whole different set of behaviors and it's not going to happen overnight, but there are a lot of things that you can do to get your dog working with you and moving with you in the Rally Novice ring. All right. This week, we're going to start with how to hold the leash, and I have a video. Excuse me. Let me see if I can get this to work. I'm always afraid when I do this stuff, but let's see what we can do. Okay. One participant at a time. Okay. So screen share and boom, 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 boom. Because that's what I want to go to. I don't know. Okay. Hold on. Let's see if we can do this. Be patient with me, please. Oh, it is. Okay, now if you hold the leash differently and you're comfortable, you don't have to change it, but I have found this way to hold it to be very, very comfortable, easy to use, and it gives you a lot of control. So let's see. Can everybody see the video?
No.
Can you see it loading now?
Not quite yet.
Okay, okay, but it's not us anymore.
What we can see, what I can see at least, is your Windows screen with how to hold a leash.mp4.
Okay, so you're not seeing the, okay.
Not the actual video, no.
Okay, you seen the actual video yet?
No.
No.
Okay, then I'm gonna have to do
You
it.
have to click on it.
Yeah, hold on. Let me just get it from the computer. Come on. Oh, there we go. Okay. Okay, let's see if this works. Can you guys see my window of my files?
Yes.
Okay, can you see the video coming up now?
No.
No.
That's how I did it last week. So you're not seeing how to hold a leash? Let me see,
No.
hold on. Okay, so you don't see the video.
No.
All right,
Just file listen.
1 second. Let's see if I can get this. All right. Minimize there. Stop share. Maybe I need it up before I can share it. Aha. Can you see it now?
No.
All
There.
right, so
Okay. Yes.
Up there.
okay, so this is my little dog, and I should have taken the sound off. I'm just holding the leash up in my right hand, reaching down and grabbing it with my left hand, not pulling up though. And then I'm gonna loop it around 1 time, and then my hand just hangs at my side. If I need a longer leash, I can easily let it out. Oops, sorry, Flitzer. Okay. Let's see. Stop screen sharing. Screen share is paused. All right, are we all back?
Yes.
That just makes me so nervous. Okay,
Yes.
so basically when I work with the dog on heel, I work as if I don't have a leash on the dog. So I'm holding the leash like it's a briefcase or something, okay? And for me, the leash starts right here. It starts up at the shoulder and it goes all the way down my arm through, thank you, Cindy, she knows it, through to the dog's collar. So whenever she pulls, my arm is gonna follow. If she pulls forward, my arm is gonna follow. If she pulls back, it'll follow. Oops, off to the side, it'll follow, okay? So I'm working as though I don't have a leash on the dog, and I'm going to correct my dog with body movement, but we'll get to that later. So that's why I like to hold my leash like that. A lot of times it's like they bunch it up in their hands or they do other things, or the double hold, which is a holdover from the really brutal days of training when the whole point was to make the corrections so bad that all you need to do when you were out and about was that little check. That's why it's called a check, a leash, collar check, because basically trainers would have a leather leash, they would wear leather gloves, the dog would have a choke chain, and they would bam, straight up in the air as hard as they could. So then when the dog got used to that and they were out, they just do little right? And then the dog would be like, holy crap, I know what that means. So that double-handed hold I don't like at all. It just reminds me of people getting ready to correct their dog with a leash correction. So arm is relaxed. We use our feet to control our dog, not our arm. If you pull on that leash, dogs have an opposition reflex and they're going to pull back. If your goal is to have a dog that doesn't pull, then you definitely don't want to be pulling. All right. So once we have the dog comfortably by our side, which at this point we're not working on finishes yet, so you can just lure the dog to your side. We always start the heel in a sit. We always end the heel in a sit, and the sit and the heel always has a release at the end. So whatever your release word is for stay, that's what you can use for your release on heel. And the release always requires that the dog move out of position. Lets the dog know that is over with. So we're going to lure the dog into position. You can do a little circle. I'm sure a lot of you have played with that. Just getting the dog into position by moving in a little circle or luring them to the right, to the left. So just get your dog in heel position in a sit. Wait until your dog looks at you. I usually like to start this series of exercises. Like if I'm training a new dog and we're beginning to do this new exercise, I like to start with a couple of praise and rewards for just looking at me. The dog looks at me, good dog, reward, good dog, reward. And then you're going to go, good dog, heel. No, sorry, you're going to go, dog looks at you. You're going to say your dog's name so that they know a command is coming. Give the command and then praise as though it's one sentence. Okay. And so the command is going to sound like Flitzer, heel, good dog. Because this exercise is so short that by the time you get to Flitzer, heel, you're going to be done with the exercise and you're going to say good dog. So you're going to stand with your right hand with the treat in it on your chest, because that gets the dog's head looking up at you. Eventually we'll do away with the treat. But right now, if your dog doesn't know to look up in the direction of your face, we want to let the dog know. You can show the dog you have a treat, whatever. And then your hand is relaxed on your side and it's Flitzer, heel, good dog. And as you say Flitzer, heel, you're going to step out with your left foot. Then you're going to step out with your right foot. And then your left foot, so that's 2 steps, your left foot is going to go to the side and that will stop the dog's forward movement. And then you're going to wait for the dog to sit and you're going to release. Okay, good dog. I'll show you a video of it in a second, but it's a little different than how most people teach training, but I'm literally starting, I call this the Texas 2-step because I'm in Texas and it's the 2-step. And it sets your dog up for success because it's so quick that you can reward at the end. Now, if your dog doesn't look up at you, if they look away as you start out, you don't have to reward at the end. You do everything the same, including the praise, but you don't reward at the end. So let me see if I can get a video up again. Okay, here we go. Share. And the videos aren't the best, and I usually like to do videos with green dogs who don't know it, and I only have Flitzer because of COVID. So, and I had nobody to help me. So it is what it is. All right, can everybody see?
It's
okay.
Buffering from my perspective.
Sorry?
I can see the little working circle like it's buffering.
Okay, yeah, it's
video,
about to play. So. That's good.
Okay, perfect. Thanks.
And that's not my belly button in my shirt. Anyway.
Can't see it.
You can't see, can anybody see it?
No.
No.
Oh.
Nope.
I can see it. Hold on. Ah. Okay, so hold on, let me stop it. Hold on. Stop share. All right, share screen. Can you see it now?
No. Oh, yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, let me see if I can get it back to the start. Okay, and I'm basically in this video saying the same thing I was saying before. I need to just not talk during the videos, but I like to talk, so. Okay, can you guys hear me talking on the video?
No.
No, okay. Okay, so just getting the dog into heel position. She knows it really well. So she just actually, I can't stand like that. If she's on the leash anywhere, she just gets in heel position. If I were to go outside to potty her and stood like that, she would just get in heel position. So you're gonna hold the treat up on your chest. You're not gonna hold it at your waist because we don't want the dog looking at your waist. We want the dog looking at you. This is where the commands come from, and that's where we want her looking. She looks like I beat her, but whatever. Okay, so with this one, if your dog knows the automatic sit, you just wait for the automatic sit. If they sit in a good position. If they don't and they're used to walking right past you, then you're going to take the side step. Sorry. I would have edited them, but our internet went out most of the day. Okay, so did everybody see that?
Yeah.
Okay, so it's step, step, and off to the side and wait for that sit. At this point, it doesn't matter where they sit or how long it takes them to sit, because if you haven't taught an automatic sit yet, it doesn't matter. We just want them to know that they can't keep walking, and that side step stops them. Now, you're not stepping into them per se, and you're definitely not stepping in front of them. You're just changing your body posture from forward to side. Okay, so a lot of people want to swing their leg around and get in front of the dog. That's not what we're doing. It's not like we're trying to touch the dog, but if the dog isn't paying attention, we will touch the dog with our leg at this point. So, any questions about that? You sure? Okay.
Will these videos be on your YouTube channel? Because for me, the videos are coming up very choppy. Like it keeps
Okay.
it will like start and stop almost.
They will be. And one of my tasks for this week is to kind of organize all of that, because I've been sending out just the video of the class, but I really need to get the videos organized so that people can see just the videos themselves. Because if you've been through the class and you need a reminder, you just need to watch the videos. So, okay.
Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, and so that's how I start that attention for the heel, just 2 steps. And I'm not in a rush to add any more steps. Okay, so a week or 2, I'll just go everywhere and do 2 steps. What I'm focusing on is not so much adding duration, but adding distractions. That's a little more difficult. And so instead of adding a bunch of duration at home and then going out and starting back at the 2 steps, just start taking the 2 step on the road. Okay, and do 10 or 12 of them in a row. I mean, it's just a short, teeny tiny exercise. It doesn't take much. All right, any other questions about that? Okay, so we're gonna move on to turns. I train turns separately from training the heel. I start out at first by just kind of teaching them to pay attention to me as I change direction. And then I add a command to my turns so that when I'm in the rally ring and I go to turn, I'll say Flitzer turn, and she'll turn with me to the right. Back is the command for the left, turn is the command for the right. And if you go to the YouTube page, I have a whole lesson right now on the right-handed turns, and then I'll do one on the left-handed turns also. But the first exercise is just teaching them to follow and move along with you. The second and third exercises are to start teaching them the commands on the turn. I don't do these in heel position to begin with. They're just done on a loose leash so that they learn the turns. Now, hold on, let me make a note of something. Okay, so the first exercise that I do is just U-turns. And basically, I stay in a straight line as I go down and back. So it's just a few steps. I go down a few steps, and then I do the turn, and I come back in a straight line, whether the dog is doing an outside turn or the inside turn. So with the outside turn, I basically do a pivot and a 180 pivot. So I put my left foot out in front and I pivot about halfway and I call the dog. Well, I call the dog first. So I'm going along and I'm getting ready and I put my foot out and I'll say, Flitzer, and then I'll start the pivot and I'll wait. And as Flitzer comes around me, I'll start moving again. Say, Flitzer, start moving again. I don't even use the turn command for these exercises. And that teaches Flitzer that when I go to change direction and call her name, she just needs to come with me. If she reaches the end of the leash, again, my arm goes out because the leash is starting from my shoulder. And I just wait for her to turn and then we start moving forward together. I don't want her to reach the end of the leash as I'm turning around and I just kind of do like boing, you know, like a correction as we're going around. I want her to come with me. That's the good part of it. So, so let me see if I can do this again. Share the screen and show you the beginning of outside turns. Hold on, I think I have to.
She go for you?
Yeah, but not much. And she's loose as can be.
I think I have to bring that up first and then share. Hold on just a second. Oh, okay. Let's see. Okay, so while this is coming up, let me see, okay. Hold on. All right, I'm going to, because this one goes through both turns, so I'm going to talk about the outside turn or the inside turn. The important part of the inside turn is that you want your dog to move out of your way. Get online tonight, watch some Rally Novice A videos on YouTube, and watch how when people do an inside turn where the dog's on the inside, they walk around their dog. Dog doesn't pay any attention to them. Not everybody. You'll get some people that are in Rally Novice A and be okay, but Rally Novice A people tend to walk around their dog. So you're walking along, and instead of turning and making the dog come with you, they like walk all the way around the dog. The word tight is now in a lot of the turns as a principal part. So if you don't do a tight turn, you're going to IP and you're going to lose 10 points. I don't know. Let's see, I have somebody in the middle of the screen and I'm not sure who it is, but that's okay. All right, so we want our dogs to always move away from us when we're doing an inside turn. And I do that just by stepping into the dog. If the dog is in my way, the dog has to get out of my way. And they really will start to look at you when you do these inside turns. They just ignore you if you walk around them. But if you step into them, they'll move out of your way. And we're not stepping in violently. We're not stepping in forcefully. We're not trying to hurt the dog. We're just like, you are in my space, get out. Okay? Because remember, you're the leader. You get to choose where you go and where the dog goes. So let's see if I can screen share this. And I'm coming too close to the camera, but like I said, I had nobody helping me, so I was doing the best I could. But so the first one is, oh, I don't know. There we go. Can you guys hear?
No.
No.
So here, I'm just gonna. So I paused a little as I came around. I didn't pause much with her because she's used to this exercise, but I paused a little as I came around, and then I called her name, and then we continued on. Let's see if I do it again. I can't remember. I do it again. Okay. Call her name Flitzer, around she comes, and off we go. All right, it's that simple. So you are not trying to not have a tight leash. That's the other thing that happens, especially on these outside turns, is dogs wander away because you're not turning into them, you're turning away from them. They just keep walking straight. So people do all these little things, hold on, let me put this, to compensate so they don't have a tight leash. All right, and we don't want to do that. We want our dogs to come with us. And so, Flitzer looks so pathetic there. Looks like I'm about to hit her. All right, so this is the inside turn. Who knows what I'm saying? I'm saying the same things I am now. Apparently a lot. So see, I'm staying in the same line and her back end is moving and she's moving away from me. She is not trying to get in my way. She's a little dog. If she can learn this, any little dog can learn it. You're not going to step on them. And I'm staying in the same line. And again, she's in heel position because she knows heel position. And she actually has a hard time not being in heel position. So these are kind of difficult exercises for her because she's not used to what we're doing anymore. But yeah, so you don't do it in heel position. Get your dog walking with you. Do the targeted walking if you need to. And then when you get to the target, do an inside turn or an outside turn. Inside turn, you're going to pivot. You're going to call the dog's name, you know, kind of hesitate, call the dog's name, and then you're going to move forward again and move forward deliberately and quickly. All right. Don't, screen share, just pause. Let's stop share. Okay. So because you have stopped your forward motion, your dog is going to slow down a bit. So whenever you come out of an outside turn, you really want to pick up the pace just a little bit. Get that dog moving with you again. And again, I see it all the time in the ring. People are moving into their dog to try to keep that leash from being tight. And you end up with a dog who's not paying attention to you or moving away from you. Because your body language, moving into the dog moves away from you. If you move away from the dog's going to move towards you. So, and then for the inside turn, get that dog moving away from you. Dog does not have to stay into heel position. This is one reason why I like to use a green dog for videos like this, because then you can see how awkward it is at the beginning. If it doesn't feel awkward, it means that you're probably not a nice person. No, I'm joking. So nice people don't like to invade the space of other individuals. So when you invade the space of your dog, you often feel a little guilty about it, but just let that go. Your dog is going to learn to move out of your way, and both of you are going to be so much happier. Okay? Any questions about that first exercise? No? Everybody's got it? Okay. All right. So now the outside turns specifically. The outside turns is one of my favorite things to teach because it's actually so easy and dogs have a lot of fun once you get it. I have 3 exercises that I do for the outside turns. Like almost all the behaviors I teach, I mold the behavior. So I have 1 exercise and then several variations. So I have 3 variations of this. Let's watch them. I think this one, they're easier to watch than for me to explain. All right, can everybody see?
Not yet.
No.
You can? Okay.
Not yet.
Oh, not yet.
No. There seems
Not
to
yet.
be a lag consistently, Holly, between what you see and our screen displays.
Okay. Okay, let me know when it comes up.
I think it worked better when you started it and then screen shared instead of screen share and then starting it.
Okay, I'll give that a try.
Yeah, what Joanna said.
Okay. Yeah, I think this week I need to play around with this and finally get this down. So stop share. Can you see it now?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So that's the first exercise. You know what? I'm going to, since there is that lag, I'm going to take it back and I'm going to turn it on and then tell me how well you guys can hear. Maybe it'll be better.
I have no audio. I can't hear anything.
Okay. Okay. Let me stop it then. So what I was saying is you take a few steps out and then you put that left leg out. So what we're teaching the dog to do is turn around us to the right independently of our movement. So the signal is, there's a cue, turn, but the signal is that extended left leg. And then you're going to lure the dog around the leg and you're going to lure the dog like straight between your legs. You're not taking the dog around the outside of you just yet. You're going to bring the dog straight in. It teaches the dog to really curve their body and to come in close to you. If any of you have a dog that doesn't hate, but tends not to want to be close to you, I've worked with a
Yes,
lot
I
of dogs. Yeah, they just don't want to be up next to you. This is one of
No.
the things that will help them get over that. Like just bring them right in, and that's the only place they're going to get the treat. They're going to come around that left leg in between your legs, and that's where they're going to get the treat. Okay. It may take a while if you've got one of those dogs that are a little skittish of being close to you to get them to do this confidently, but it works really well. So you're going to have the dog in heel position. You're going to say, let's go. I don't do it in heel. I say, let's go, which is her cue for, we're moving along. I guess it's a loose leash walking cue. We're moving along. You have to behave yourself, but you don't have to be in heel position. Although, like I said, she's really hard for her not to be in heel position unless we're, actually showing in the ring. And then you're going to take a couple of steps, and then after a few steps, when you go to put your left leg out, instead of stepping on the left leg, you're going to put it out there, and then you're going to lean back and lure her around in between your legs. Give her the treat. Okay, so this is the second exercise. So we go from luring the dog and making that really tight curve around the leg to luring the dog and bringing the dog past both legs and past us completely, because we want to teach the dog to move independently of us. A turn doesn't mean turn with me. The turn means to whip yourself around me. And so We're going to bring the dog all the way over. Again, if you have a dog that is a little skittish of being close, you're going to make sure that dog comes in to get that treat. Don't let that dog convince you that they're only going to take the treat if it's out where they are. Bring them in, play with it a little, you know, tease them a little bit with it till they come in to get that treat. But you want that dog to come right next to you and kind of skim right past you. Oh, she anticipated on that one. So we had to start over again. And I am saying heel, although I meant not to. I'm as much conditioned to say heel as she is to heel. Okay, so when I'm bringing her past that back leg, that's where she gets the treat. She likes to work, so she anticipates a lot. Okay, that's good. That's all we need for that. All right, so any questions on that one? No? Okay.
That was good.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, it's actually, it works really, really well in the ring because it gets the dog's attention back on you at a time when they tend to wander away. Again, watch the videos, either, you know, the ones that people are posting for virtual Rally Novice or ones online, you know, that have been there and on YouTube. And you'll see in Rally Novice, especially with the green dogs and Rally Novice A with the green handlers, is those outside turns. Dogs are just like doing other things. So when she got her Rally Novice, her CDX leg a few weeks ago, I made a conscious decision to do a second command. So there's some of the exercises in obedience where you can give a second command where you'll only lose a few points. And there's some where if you give a second command, you NQ, but there's some where you just lose a few points. And the second day, she really seemed to not be in the heel at all. And when we went to do the about turn, I was afraid I was going to lose her. So I gave her the command turn, like she was already like, what's over there on that wall? So I gave her the command turn as we turned, and I lost 3 points, but I would have lost 3 points at least anyway from her being out of position, but this way she came with me. Lisa, I'll answer that at the end. That's a very good question. So, I mean, it's almost a conditioned response for her now. Like if I say turn, around she goes. And you can use it on the double about. You can use it as a trick. You can tell her to go, you know, you tell your dog to go turn, and they'll keep turning around you if you get them used to doing it more than once. So it's a handy little thing to know. So that's how I train the outside turns. And I use the turn command in the Rally Novice ring. By the time I get to excellent, I'm not giving those extra commands. So that foot out in front, even in obedience, you can turn with a pivot, and that puts that left foot out in front. And if she is paying attention, she'll turn around it. So it was just in this particular run, she was just paying attention. All right, Tiffany, yes, every dog, everything I've trained from a Maltese to a Great Dane and Mastiffs and even Belgian Malinois, I've done the same thing. Only you may, like Belgian Malinois, you may not work so hard to get them moving fast because they may move faster than you want. So same with Flitzer. I mean, Flitzer, I've had to calm her down. I watch all these videos on obedience where they're like revving the dogs up. And I'm like, I have to calm my dog down. She's too revved up. You can see her, you know, she anticipates. Yeah. So she anticipates and she's just always so ready to go, except that one day in the ring. She hates heeling and obedience. She likes obedience better than rally because I don't think she likes to stop, but she was not trained initially to do obedience. And I think when I stopped talking to her, she's like, had enough of this. So sometimes I have some really good performances from her in the obedience ring, but sometimes it's like pulling teeth to get her to stay with me and do what she's supposed to do. So we've never NQ'd on any of the healing exercises in obedience, but we have lost a few points here and there. All right, U-turns. This is teaching the back, and you don't have to say back in the beginning. I'm doing it with Flitzer, but it's that same concept of getting the dog to move out of your way. So, oh, yeah, Lisa. It's getting the dog to get out of your way so you can make that tight turn and not get an IP. And the way we do that is to step into them. As you turn to the left, you're going to step into your dog and you're going to wait until you see the back legs move. Okay, we don't want the front to move. It's a whole different, what's the word I'm looking for? It's just different. It's a whole different movement. If those front legs are moving, the dog is not really moving with us. They're just kind of spinning in place. We don't, from the back, we want them to spin in place from the front. So we want the back legs to spin around. So as you step into them, and if you see those back legs move, you're going to take one step. And if you see those back legs move to the side, good dog and reward. Oh, it's a, Joan, it's an IP, which is in performance, incomplete, is it incomplete performance? Like I was just reading this, I know it. Anyway, it's
Incorrect?
Incorrect performance, okay. Yes, thank you. Yeah, it's incorrect performance, gosh. And it means that you did not do one of the principal parts and you've lost 10 points. And you know the principal parts because when you read the sign descriptions in the Rally manual that you are going to have, the principal parts are all in bold. If you don't do anything in the principal part, you get an IP. Okay, and that's minus 10 points. So back to the back. So anyway, and then you're going to take another step, and we're not staying in heel position. We're not requiring anything from the dog at all, except to move those back 2 feet to the side. All right. A lot of people like to use discs or something or platforms that their dogs put their front feet on. What I have found is this works just as quickly, and you're not going to have the disc in the ring, so you may as well start working on it. It looks sloppier at the beginning, but you work through it much more quickly. So I would suggest not using a disc for this particular one, just getting them used to your body movement. We want their focus to be on your body movement, not on a disc. So you're going to step into them with your left leg. So your left leg is going to step back, and then it's going to kind of push them back. You want that shoulder to come back and down as you turn around. And as soon as you see those little back legs move to the side, good dog and reward. Then do another and another and another. Do 3 or 4 in a row, and then break, and then do it a couple more times. So I have a video of Flitzer. And again, because she's used to moving out of my way, it doesn't look like how it looks when you usually start. Usually when you start, the dog is just like really confused, and it's awkward, and it's not graceful. And so let me just show you Flitzer. Hold on. Trying to remember. Okay, so I'm going to start at first, teaching the back. Okay. And then share screen. Let's see if we can do this. It's not doing anything. Let's see if we get it going again. Okay, I'm going to stop the share and see if I'm going to try it one more time. If I can't get it one more time, then we're just going to move on. I know this is a lot of information, and that's one reason why I'm putting it up on YouTube. Can you see?
Yes.
Yes.
See how those back legs are moving to the side?
It's almost like they're pivoting.
Yeah. Actually, yeah. Although when I pivot, we'll go over pivots. But yeah, it is. And I do the back when I do a pivot in that direction. Okay. All right. So that's all you're going to be doing with your dog for the turns this week. And it doesn't have to, especially for that exercise, it's not going to be pretty when you start. It's going to be pretty sloppy. The dog's going to be confused. You just have to make sure that you praise and reward for the proper behavior, and they'll catch on fairly quickly. Any questions about turns? Okay. Let's talk about the signs that use heel. So the signs that only use heel are 5 through 12. So it's like the left turn, the right turn, right? The 180, the 360, and then 25, which I didn't even write down what it was. Hold on. I can't minimize. Let's see. Oh, okay. No, that's not the one I was thinking. Oh yeah, for the heel. So 25 is halt 1, 2, 3. And of course that's basically the 2-step, except you're just going to start out with 1 step, and we can talk more later about how to do that. So it's, you get a nice automatic sit. All right. And then the 37 through 40s, which are the loops, which are the new ones. Okay. Some tips for doing these signs. Inside turns need to be tight. That's part of the principal parts. You will IP if you do not, and lose 10 points if you do not get a tight turn. You may get away with not turning tightly right now because it is kind of new, and a lot of the old judges, I mean, this is one of the things when I was apprenticing, one of the judges did not know that tight had been added to the new regulations. Now, I don't know about you, but if I'm a judge and new regulations come out, the first thing I'm going to do is go over them with a fine tooth comb so I understand them all. But she had no idea. So and all of her courses had some turns in them, some 360 to the left. And so when we compared our scores, all of our scores were way off. Like they didn't match at all. But she still signed off on me because there was a reason why they didn't match. And she was like, thank you for telling me that. So you want to make sure the turns are tight. That's right and left. Okay, so you can't make this big circle going to the right. Nice tight turn, dog turns around you. For signs 37 and 38, and I saw this a lot when I was apprenticing. No, Joan, I don't think they do, but we can talk about that afterwards because that's a good one. So they're the little loops, like they look like the little ribbon. And one of the things people tend to do is they go like this and straight back out. Okay. And they don't, so they make like a more than a 90-degree turn, and they don't cross over. So you want, here, I'll write it on the paper. I'm trying to use a chalkboard, but I'm not real confident, if you haven't noticed, with Zoom. So just getting the videos up is enough for me. So here's the sign. A lot of people go like that. I'll show you in just a sec. Here's the sign. What you need to do is go like that. So a lot of people will approach the sign and just kind of go back the other way because it's usually not in a place where it's really concise that you have to cross over. But let's say this is the line of approach. You have got to cross back over that line of approach or it's an IP. It's minus 10 points. Be very aware, and what I suggest people do for those loops is when you're doing your walkthroughs before, figure out exactly how you're going to hit that sign so that you have to cross over your line of approach in order to get to the next sign. I mean, like consciously decide exactly how you're going to approach that sign. Anything else? Let's see. Oh, I want to talk for the last thing. It's kind of a fun thing. It's called the rule of opposites. And basically, whatever movement you do, what sign number is that? Those are for both 37, 38. Yeah, 37 and 38. So whatever you do, your dog tends to do the opposite. So if you move into your dog moves away. If you move away from your dog tends to move into you. If you go slow, your dog tends to go, wait. If you go slow, your dog will go slow. Or if you go fast, no, if you go, darn it. If you go fast, your dog will speed up. There we go. So yeah, never mind. Whoa, it's been a while since I've taught dog training classes. Sorry. All right, so the rule of opposites, you do the opposite of what your dog does. It's not you. So if your dog is going slow and you go fast, your dog will speed up. If your dog is going fast and you go slow, your dog's going to slow down. So when you're in the ring, you can use this to your advantage because there's nothing that says that you can't just kind of step a little bit, like change your direction a little bit one way or the other as you're walking from one sign to the other. Because if you work on this in practice and training, it doesn't take a lot to get your dog to move with you. So I see a lot of people in the ring and their dog starts to wander away and they pull their dog back to them and then they get a tight leash, point deduction. But if you just kind of go, Flitzer, they're going to move back into you if they understand that rule of opposites. So, so we'll go through rule of opposites more next time because I need to make a video for it. But just work with it, play with it this week with your dogs. And as you're walking along and doing that targeted walking, start using the rule of opposites. So as you're making the walks longer and longer, moving the targets further away, there's more of a chance you're going to lose your dog. So when you start walking, Flitzer, let's go, good dog, that's a good dog, and she starts moving away. Flitzer, good dog, then she's back and you just keep walking. You don't stop, you just kind of move diagonally and then keep walking towards your target. So, or if we're walking along, let's go Flitzer, and she slows down, I start to speed up. Flitzer, come on, she'll speed up and then she's with me and I can slow down again to a normal pace. Good girl, good girl. All right. So any questions on that? I will make a video on that. It's an incredibly powerful tool, both for training and in the rally ring. Not so much the obedience ring. They would consider it extra commands. So even the movement. All right, does anybody, let's see, we have some questions in chat. One was, oh, okay. So the Canine, I mean, the AKC Rally apps, Canine Rally, those are apps you can put on your phone that have, excuse me, the descriptions of the signs and the signs in them. I would be careful though if I haven't checked to see, because I haven't checked since I've gotten back. But I would check to make sure that the descriptions have the principal parts in bold. If they don't have the principal parts in bold, it's not very useful to you. It's important to know those principal parts, to know what your priorities are in a behavior, and to know whether you will need to redo or not. Okay, okay, Canine Rally does, good. Both of them do, Joanna? You guys, you can turn your microphones on now. So we're just talking.
I just have the Canine Rally app, and that does have it in bold. And there is also a video of each sign being performed,
Okay,
so that you can see that being done as correctly as well.
okay. I also have most of the signs, not all of them. I need to finish that up. It was a project I was working on YouTube. So you can, if you don't have the app, you can go to YouTube on your phone and you can see, I have all of the advanced signs, and this week I'm going to start working on getting the rest. I have most of the old novice signs, and I need to get the rest of the old novice signs up there, and then Flitzer and I will work on getting the rest of the new novice signs up there. And then we also have some of the excellent. We don't have any masters yet, but I ended up flying out to Ukraine before I could finish them. And then once I hit the ground in Ukraine, like, life became totally different. And I did not have time to work on the rally videos. So
Where do you see the videos, Joanna? Where do you see the videos on the app?
Yes.
They're under the help button.
You click on
You have to look under, after you click on the sign, it has the description, and then there's a tab that says hints. So if you click on hints, it says click here to see a video.
Yeah. Okay, I see it. Okay, thanks.
okay. All right. Any other questions? Joan, do you work in the school system?
I do. Why?
Because IEP?
Oh, yeah. Well, actually, I work for childcare more.
Oh, okay. Okay, but you're used to IEPs?
Yeah, I heard IEs sound like IEP, so.
Yeah, you're probably used to like typing IEP.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, all right. Anything else?
When you were talking about the dog coming around over your left leg, was that for right? You're practicing that for right turns?
That's the right turn.
Turns?
Yes.
Okay. So any turn going to the right, it's like I use a hurry command, like hurry.
Right, because you want them to speed up, right?
Yeah.
But let me ask you, have you taught the dog to speed up?
Well, no, that's why I'm watching this. So
okay.
That's why I just wanted to make sure that's like that would be like my hurry command, or help me not have to say that like you say.
Right. So what I see a lot in the rally ring is that a lot of people are giving words to their dogs that their dogs don't really know. And back and hurry are the two that I've noticed. I can't tell you how many times people go to do a 360 to the left and they're like, back, and their dog doesn't do anything. And then they go to walk forward and they're like, good dog. And I'm like, good dog for what? So we have to be sure that the words that we're using in the rally ring have meaning to the dog. And the only way a word can have meaning to the dog is if it has a physical action. So, yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, so I mean, that's one of the things. I'm going to talk about communication next week, but just to hit on it real quick, we're allowed unlimited communication, but we have to make sure, if we want a good run, that our communication is accurate and mean something to the dog. So, you know, if we're walking along going, oh, and the dog's like, okay, I'm here, like it's what we do, but they're not really getting any information. But if we teach them specific words, that means specific actions, then we can get good behavior from them. And my personal opinion is a lot of dogs in the ring are sniffing and not paying attention because the communication from the handler is meaningless and they just tune it out. So everybody's like, oh, your dog is stressed. I'm telling you now, just from the people that I've worked with who brought their dogs in, the dogs are not sniffing and licking lips and paying attention because they're stressed. They are absolutely confused because they hear these noises and they're meaningless and they just tune it out. So make sure that the words you use have meaning. So you can use hurry. You can actually use that instead of turn. I don't care what word you use. If the dog's used to it, you could continue to use it and add the meaning to it. But make sure that the words you use have specific meaning for your dog, and that meaning has to be behavior, some type of movement. So they're not abstract thinkers. As wonderful as they are, they're not abstract thinkers. Oh, so I don't know if my husband's listening, but I have a husband story. So Flitzer went in the bedroom with him today, and he's lying on the bed. And she went in the closet. We don't like her in the closet because she hears things behind the wall. And she wants, you know, she's a terrier, so she wants to tear apart the wall. So oops. He's like, Flitzer, get out of there. Get out of there. I said, get out of there. Flitzer, you know we don't want you in the closet. I mean, he's really starting to get angry. And I'm like, Flitzer, come. And she leaves the closet and she runs to me and jumps in my arms. And I'm like, you have to use words she knows. Like, she doesn't know the concept of we don't want you in the closet. Like, that means nothing to her. But come means leave the closet and come to me. So same in the ring. Suggestions on leash issue. Denver sometimes. Oh, okay. The holding the leash in the mouth. So Mary, is your mic on? Can you talk? Here we are. No, that's Joan, right? Yeah. Okay. So usually it's the young dogs, especially the adolescents. They like to grab that leash. And so what we do is make a game out of it. We don't realize it, but we try to pull it out of their mouth. And when a dog has something in their mouth and you start to pull, what is that called?
Tugging.
Tugging. Dogs love to tug. It's like one of their favorite things to do, right? So of course you grab, and then they grab, you start to tug, and then it becomes this game. They get excited. You start to get annoyed, right? So what I do is I take the leash and I just pull my hand down right where their mouth is, and I just hold it up. I try to hold it up behind here. So I may have to do a video on this because it's hard to explain. But so the dog's head is here. So the leash is here, right? This is their mouth. Bark, 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 bark. Grab the leash. People tug this way. They tug down. They tug. It's all fun. I take the leash back and I just try to hold it right here, and I don't tug. Their head comes up. They can't really tug with their head up. And then eventually they let go and you say, good dog, and you give them a treat. Oh, bye, Teresa. Next week. Okay, Mary. But so yeah, you just hold the leash up, and you're not trying to choke them. I never do anything to hurt a dog, but I'm moving the leash back in a way that's tight enough that it's not pulling down so they can grab it. And then it's in their mouth, so it's not pulling on their leash, their collar at all. And then I just wait for them to let go. Good dog, and I give them a reward. So, and I'll try to make a video. I'll try to remember. I have to find a dog that will do that, though. What's the difference between Rally A and Rally B? Not a huge difference. There are rules for who gets to be in each, and I think they kind of did that to make it fair for new people and new dogs to have a chance to earn ribbons. I mean, that's my feeling. So the course is the same, it's judged the same, And the difference is if your dog is new or if you're new, you start in Rally A. If you have, now I get confused. So in novice, if you have an obedience title, you have to start in B. Is that right? Does anybody know?
Correct.
Right. But if you don't have an obedience title, all of your dogs start in Rally Novice A. So it can be your 10th dog. If you don't have an obedience title, you will always start in Rally Novice A. Then when you get to advanced, it changes. So, but we're not going to talk about that. We're just going to sticking with novice. This is intro, so we're sticking with novice. So if you don't have an obedience title, you will be in A. Now, you can choose to be in B. Doesn't matter. Like A's can be in B, but B's can't be in A. Also, once you earn your title, you have 60 days where you can still compete in A, because you don't have to move up once you get your title. You can keep going as long as you want in Rally Novice. But after 60 days, then you have to start showing in B. So that dog will have to move from A to B if you're going to continue showing. And there are reasons why people will stick with staying in a class. I mean, getting their dog ready, but you're having fun and you want to keep working in the ring with them. They may not be ready to be off leash, so you may just continue showing them for a while. Or let's say you're trying to qualify to go to the nationals, or you want your dog to be the #1 Jack Russell, or sorry, Russell Terrier in Rally in the AKC. So you want to make sure you have lots of points, and the people who figure that out at Front and Finish Magazine have this huge formula that I don't understand, but the more you show and the better you show, better chance you have of making that list and making the top of the list. So yeah, so but if you don't have an obedience title, Rally Novice A. Let's see, yep. Oh, Tiffany, yes, unless you have earned an obedience title or put an obedience title on a dog, you can still enter A. Because, oh, okay, Rally Novice, yeah, you can still enter A. Oh yeah, okay, so. Oh yes, thank you, Stephanie. If you make a mistake, you can move from one class to the other on the day of the show, but you have to show up early in the day, like at the beginning.
And that's only if the club that's hosting the trial is going to allow lateral moves on that day.
Right, and there has to be that class. So if nobody has signed up for Rally A and you want to change from B to A and nobody else is showing up, you won't be able to move. So one of the big things with obedience in novice is when they had the stays, is a lot of people would show in B because the dogs were better at the stays. So, and sometimes, I mean, I did it, but it all depended on who I knew was going to be at the show. There was this one guy with this crazy, crazy German Shepherd. And if I knew he was going to be at the show, I would not show in A with him, because that dog got up and ran around the ring every single time I saw that dog show. And my dog is a little teeny dog, and I'm not going to deal with it. And it wasn't a nice dog. I mean, I don't know. So, yeah. Anything else? Have I missed any questions? Do we have any other questions?
I just want to make sure that they know you cannot have a CD, an obedience title on any dog, even if you're starting with a new dog. I was confused with that because I had another dog that was deceased. I got a CD on her, but then I started another young dog.
Right.
And I tried to enter Rally Novice A, and then they called me on that, and I got screwed up because I thought, well, he has never had that title, and I have never had a Rally Novice title. But then because I had a CD on another dog.
Yes. So yes, if
I
you
was
have
just
put a
starting
title,
Rally.
So I originally had said a while back, like if your dog has a title or something, but it's if you have put a title on a dog, you as the handler.
On any dog.
On any dog, yes. If you put a title on the dog, except now again when you get into Rally Advance, it changes. I don't know why they did it, because we have so here in Houston we have these incredible handlers. Like their dogs are in the top 10 in obedience and rally. Tracy Kernisberg, whose dog Jelly was #1, Jelly Bean was #1 in the country a few years ago. I show against her every time I show. Like Judy Ramsey, who won a few years ago in nationals, I think it was Rally Excellent. I go against, for a while, they weren't there the last show, I was going against her every single show. Like these, and so there's this other woman who doesn't go to nationals, but she's got a really good dog. And so it was my first time in Rally Advanced. So I was in like Advanced A, and she walks into the ring with her dog, and I looked at my daughter and I'm like, but she's put all kinds of like titles on her dog. Like even that dog has titles, and Courtney's like, my daughter, it doesn't matter in Advanced. So I had to go up against her, and of course I got 100, but I came in 7th place. That's how good the people around me are.
I hate that. I was in a show too once, and there were like 5. I was like, sweet, I got 100, and so did 5 other people. Yeah. And I have a slow Great Dane, so we weren't even in the ribbons. I'm like, what? How can I get 100 and not get a ribbon? That's not fair.
Same with me. That's the way it is. But
I hate that.
I have a dog with 4-inch legs.
Yeah.
So, but in Great Danes, they may take big steps, but when they go to sit her down, they're like, I gotta work into this, right? Yeah. Okay, what cause? He goes through and gets his leash to leave the ring. Wait a second. So Mary, I'm reading you. I'm trying to read yours, and I got to read to the end. Okay. Oh, from the pulling on the leash. Okay. What else do we have? Okay, the rally regs. Thank you, Mary, for citing the regulations. It should always be done. It should always be done. Yeah. So if you get 100 but don't place because of it, do the dogs still earn the titles? Oh yes, you can get a 70 and they'll still earn the titles. So there's a difference between placement and legs. In order to earn a title, you need 3 legs under 2 judges, but I think that's on hold right now, right? It can just be 1 judge these days because of COVID. Mm-hmm. So, but you need 3 runs with scores of 70 or higher to earn that title. And each one of those runs is called a leg. As far as the placements go, whoever's in the ring that day, it's kind of the competition between the dogs that are in the ring that particular day. So it's 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. And of course, the highest score gets 1st place. But if you have people with ties, that's when they go to the time. And so that's why when we had 7 people with hundreds, I came in 7th because my time was the slowest. So, poor little Flitzer. It's okay. All right. Anything else?
Thank you. This was very informative.
Oh,
Yes,
good.
thank you.
Thank you.
All right, you're welcome. And then I will try to send out a follow-up video as soon as possible. Wait a minute, make leash pull video. Okay, and then send that out, and this will be online. I'll try and get the videos in order so you can just see the videos of the exercises that I'm doing, and we will see everybody next week.
All right, thanks.
Awesome.
Holly,
Holly,
I have a question. Do you send out links each week to everybody? Because this week I went to my email, but it was like the link for last week, which I did watch, but I didn't make the class, but I watched it. But then this week I had to like register again. Do you have to do that each week?
You shouldn't have to do that each
No.
week. Yeah. You should just be able to
But
click on that link.
I didn't get an email with the link for
It's just-
tonight.
Yeah, it's just the same link.
Oh,
Just click
well,
on the
when
link.
I
First email.
Yeah, no, just
I
click on
think
the
when
same
I
link
clicked
from
on
the
it, it
first
went to
email.
the first video.
Okay, so you're going to click on not the constant contact one, but the one that comes from Zoom, not from me, but from,
Okay.
okay? All right.
Well, I have it this time, so hopefully I'll have it for next week.
You'll figure next week. And remember, get here early so we can get everybody in and get started on time, all right? Don't forget practice. Let me know how everything goes. You can send me videos. You can ask me questions. I don't care. I love it. This is what I love to do, which is why even though I'm starting a career in something else, I'm doing this because I just love to do it. So, all right. Have a good week, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye. I don't know how to get out. Oh, there we go. Bye-bye.